Hey, Retro Maniacs, EP here with another episode of Extra Innings. Today I'm going to talk about a lot of cards that I won on eBay. Again, this is how I like to hobby, and I get to go through a bazillion cards of a lot of really cool players. This was a lot. It was all stars. It was all base cards, but all star cards. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through all 1,200. That would be insane. We're definitely not going to do that. Before we start, if you haven't watched our the latest PSA grade reveal, that's a fun card. Some fun stuff in that reveal. So go watch it. It released this week. It released on Thursday. So yeah, I guess let's get started. First off, I want to talk about the seller. You know what? Let's go through a couple cards quick. Then we'll talk about the deal. So let's start with this Tony Gonzalez group. I mean, again, one of the greatest ever play the position tight end. There are a couple Travis Kelce cards, not a ton, no rookies or anything, but just a couple base Travis Kelce's modern stuff. So, but this is the bread and butter for me, Mike, and Joe. You know, these cards from these years are the ones. The reason why I chose the Gonzalez as one of them is because of one of the cards coming up here, and that's a Crown Royale. Yep, gotta love, always love those. And then of course the showcase, the Flair showcase is always fantastic. So I'll go through one more group here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the deal, a little bit more about why I buy these kinds of lots. There's Marvin Harrison on Flair Showcase again, just like fantastic stuff. That refractory finish and just that year, some Upper Deck Black Diamonds. I think that's Leaf Rookies and Stars. Nope, just Donruss. Fleer Retro, some honors. So just there's some duplicates in here for sure. But the reason why I buy this stuff. Let's do one more. Maybe we'll do one more here. Troy Aikman. Here's a big chunk of Troy Aikman cards here. So some cool stuff. Again, duplicates. Lots of these first and 10 playoff first and 10s, 90 score, and then these. I don't think I ever owned any of those. So the thing about these lots is I get to go through a bunch of cards that I've never really. I get to see a bunch of cards that I've never owned. From sets that I've never collected. And again, when you're buying an All-Stars lot, I'm looking at taking these cards with me to the card show. Well, before I get too far into that, I won this lot. It's 1,200 cards. I won this lot for $147 and change, so like let's say $148. That is with shipping and taxes, everything like that. So total, the 12 cents per card. So I'm paying 12 cents per card. If I have to sell these cards for 25 cents, I'm still making a profit off those. I'm guessing most of these, like as you saw, like some of these, a checklist from Upper Deck is probably, I'm not sure if that's a 25-cent card or 50-cent card, but a lot of these are going to sell for 50 cents. I'm sure that we'll get to a few in a couple minutes here that might be a dollar card, where they're like solid 50-cent cards. But in general, I'm pretty much going to profit off every single card. And then if I have to sell some of them at 10 cents a card, which I put out a box that's 25 cents each, or 10 for $1. I'm glad to do that and then move some cards and be able to make a little bit of money back and then get another one of these lots eventually. So one of the cool things about the seller that I get this from is I like to look at his groups, because he always does these lots where it's all refractors or all stars or all inserts from all these different years. And he's from Illinois, but for some reason when he ships, he always ships a couple days late, and then all of a sudden the shipping time changes drastically, and it goes from it was gonna arrive in 5 days to arriving in 2 days, and I get it within like 2 days of him shipping it. It's fantastic. He must live in a hub that is like directly connected, like one shot to our hub in Harrisburg and here in Pennsylvania, and then it gets here super fast, and my post office has it on my doorstep before I even wake up in the morning. So it's really convenient. The buying from him. Also, again, he always has some really fun, some cool stuff. So. Yeah, so one of the other things that I took notice of is he shipped it in this one 800 count box, and then a second box, which I was kind of surprised. He cut the side of it off to be more efficient, obviously, and then just taped this piece on the front and had a card with a soft sleeve on it, so it would be safe. So I thought just something a little something to add. If you're somebody who sells bulk lots like that. I mean, I wouldn't have thought to cut a box like that and do that, but that's a pretty slick way of doing it. So anyhow, let's go through a few more cards, and then I'll talk a little bit more about my card show, which is coming up in. You'll see this on Saturday. So that if you're watching it this morning and you live in the Shamokin Dam, Central Pennsylvania area, you're coming to the show, you can talk to me about it. But anyhow, let's go through these Jerry Rice cards. One of the big things that really got me excited about this lot were the number of Jerry Rice cards. There was a huge chunk of them, and that's somebody who I'm not sure if I sell a ton of them at the show or not, but I like to have Jerry Rice cards. And there are a handful of these. Like, I never saw this 90 Fleer one, and I realize it's probably a 50-cent card, but Montana and Rice together. And again, these are all just base. I mean, you still got some really cool action-packed Jerry Rice cards. This really cool playoff card, a cool Pro Line card, some Sport Flicks. So just some really awesome, fun stuff. Some Pro Set, 91 Fleer Ultra, 98 Greats, Fleer Ultra. This cool, don't remember this pinnacle of Jerry Rice, like an in-motion type of card. Him catching a football that's shaped like a bullet. Just kind of a cool card. I think there are 2 of those in here. Some Jerry Rice art cards, and there's another one of those. So just some cool stuff. Yeah, again, it's stuff that I either never saw, never owned, or owned and forgot about because it's been so long. So really cool. Let's take a look at, I mean, this is a stack of Tua and Dan Marino cards. So there are there's modern stuff in here too. Let's see, this is an interesting stack. Just some Jalen Hurts cards, just a handful of Jalen Hurts, a handful of Aaron Rodgers cards, some Christian McCaffrey cards. And you see there's Prisms and Selects in here. This is stuff that I don't really have in my boxes as it is, so it's nice to add some of that newer stuff as well. Some Steve Largent cards. So I got some a lot of Hall of Famers in this lot, of course. Some Randall Cunninghams, and then some Bruce Smiths, bunch of Bruce Smith finest cards, and then some other Bruce Smith stuff here that's still on the stack there. So I have a guy who comes to my show. He comes to my table almost religiously. I've seen him at multiple shows. I set up at Muncie, and he stopped at my table both times at Muncie, and he stops at my show pretty much every week. And he's a huge Steelers guy. He's always looking for rookie cards. And last time I had to tell him I did not have anything new. I did not renew my football box at all. And so I felt kind of bad. And I could have let him look through. I'm sure we'd have picked a couple things out here and there. But I wanted to be straight up with him. I said, you know what? I didn't really add anything to that. And I said that I would have something new. So I'm going to have a lot of new stuff. And he looks for a lot of rookie cards. But I have a bunch. I got this lot also had a bunch of Franco Harris stuff, which is pretty cool. There's that Pro Line. So there's some fun stuff here. There's a bunch of Jerome Bettis cards as well. There's some Curtis Martin. I've got a bunch of Curtis Martin finest cards there. There's a bunch of second-year Warren Sapp finest cards. So yeah, just interesting groups, and I wanted to kind of refresh for him and also refresh my box in general. And I feel like this was a really good deal. The football cards have been going pretty expensive. I was bidding on a lot of all inserts. I think it was $1,600 all inserts, but I think it went for like $300 or something like that. It was just, it would have been a good deal, but just financially, that amount of money, putting that amount of money out right away seemed like a lot. So, I guess next I'll show you the Barry Sanders lot. And again, the Barry Sanders cards that were shown, there were only a couple shown. In the photos, he does a good job of photos, and they might have mixed in with some other stuff, but this feels like more Barry Sanders cards than I was expecting to get out a lot. And we're talking Topps Gold Label stuff, we're talking Pro Set Platinum, so it's a mix of, there's Pro Set, a mix of Leaf Certified, a mix of some really, really good stuff, and some, stuff that's, pretty much you can find pretty much anywhere. So you can find a lot of this stuff anywhere, but so a lot of stuff that again, I don't think there are too many Barry Sanders here that I haven't seen or don't own. There's an action packed, but enough new cards here. I'm pretty sure there's a couple in here that I'm going to be putting aside for myself. Like I would not have collected any optic of Barry Sanders, so I'm sure I'll put a couple of these aside for myself. Every time I buy one of these lots, I always find a card. I'm like, you know what? I think I'd rather keep that card than try to get 50 cents out of it or $1 out of it or whatever. So there'll definitely be a handful of cards in here. I'm guessing this Barry Sanders group is probably where that's going to be coming from. But anyhow, so there's the Barry Sanders cards. And let's see one other player. Then I'll get to the very last part of this. How about Peyton Manning? So I've got some Peyton Manning's absolute memorabilia. A couple again Peyton Manning cards here that I never owned. And I'll probably put one or two of these aside for myself. just because. And I actually will do one more, because I was surprised at the number of Terrell Owens cards, and I like that this guy thinks that Terrell Owens is a star, because he is. I mean, one of the greatest receivers to ever do it. Some really awesome Terrell Owens cards out of this lot as well. I live in Pennsylvania, Eagles country, and I'm sure there's going to be a handful of Eagles fans there. I'm hoping to have an Eagles box, a Steelers box, a Phillies box, and a Pirates box. And so I got a bunch of cool Terrell Owens Eagles cards here I can throw in the box. So again, excited to find so many Terrell Owens cards in there. And then the last little bit here is the real reason why I bought this lot. I mean, there are multiple reasons, but the real reason why this lot was so attractive to me were some of these newer quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson. There's also a couple Joe Burrows. Nothing huge on the Joe Burrows. One Justin Herbert, and a couple Patrick Mahomes. Nothing huge. But then there were some Tom Brady's, and a Tom Brady SP, which, I mean, Upper Deck stopped making football was back in 2014. I believe Rookies and Stars. Kickoff. There's a Topps Tom Brady. I think that was at 2005, 2007, and then another Topps Tom Brady. So I have a couple Tom Brady's. I'm guessing the Brady's will be our dollar cards. So at least $1, probably $1. So anyhow, I think I'm going to make it might take some time, depending on what happens at the show. It might take some time to move all these cards. I'll probably have to do a stack sale with some of the stuff, and I know that the stack sailors love a lot of the stuff, and again, a lot of the stuff I haven't seen before myself, so I'm guessing it'll be new for some of them as well. So that's it. I just wanted to kind of go over this really cool lot that I got for 12 cents a card. You can't beat 12 cents a card. Especially when you're talking about all-stars, like if you're, and you get a pretty good idea. I think he does like 30-ish photos per lot, 30 to 34 photos per lot. So there's a lot of cards in those photos. But typically, you get a pretty good idea what you're going to be getting as far as the quality and type of card and the kinds of players that are in the lots. So there you go. That's it. Have a great day. Thanks.